Mm. So I, I'm on today to figure out if I could figure out how to share my screen. I'm just researching the different features. So I know I could see my chat, share screen. Okay, just this tab. So I want to research the following because I do have a lot of windows open, but I want to share some of the affiliates that I'll be researching today. So one of them that I'll be researching today is Jasper AI. I will be, let me see if Koala is on here. So it's going to be Jasper, it's going to be Koala, and it's one early. I'm actually actively about to research that one right now. But it would benefit most when I'm doing the lives to go through the process of the different tools that I use. So currently, like I was saying, I use Chat GPT. I use DeepSeek. DeepSeek took a while to get on. I tried to get on when it became popular. It was about a month ago. So I've been on DeepSeek for a month where I actively use it. Before I did sign up, it did take it was challenging to sign up when I first signed up. But once I was actually on, I still was used to using Chat GPT more. So I can't say that because I was so used to using Chat GPT that I immediately started using DeepSeek, but I am glad that I used them both. I also use CapCut. As a matter of fact, let me minimize this. I have WebRoot, not McAfee, but I am still getting the pop-ups for McAfee. CapCut, and as I was saying, I do use TikTok, the edits within TikTok. And I use the pedal, and it's another app that I'm going to find out if it's going to be beneficial for me. But again, what you were able to see and what you learned. I was, because I am learning how to use the share. I'm learning how to share the screen. I thought I was going to be able to figure everything out in one day, but I'm glad now I know that I'm not going to be able to figure out everything in one day. So even for this, I'm going to go back over this, but I am making sure that I get used to, I'm making sure that I get used to being on camera. So that's the first thing. I'm making sure that I learn how to do proper lighting. I'm making sure that when I'm sharing my screen, that I know how to properly do that as well. So again, these are some, I did a search of the 29 best affiliate programs in 2025. And I'm going to try them one by one for the recommendations that were made. But what I'm going to start with is some recommendations that I got from creators actually here. Actually, I need to start with the recommendations of AI tools that I currently use. I use ChatGPT. I use DeepSeek. And I do my editing in CapCut mostly. I do some more in TikTok. And then I do some in Canva. And I use my iPhone, the tools that are in my iPhone, like for notes. And if I'm creating PDF files for just some free resources, because I have the digital files. So I do have resources that I make available. So pages, I used to do the full out ebooks where I would be in Canva, making sure that I formatted them just right. But I did learn a few shortcuts. Fiverr is good if I want more detailed and the experience. If I want a sleek experience, if I want the table of contents, and I want you to be able to do the hyperlinks straight to the chapters. So my Get Rich or Cry Trying, that was an ebook that I wrote, but I wanted to optimize it so that the experience of being able to get straight to the information that you need and the ability to be able to get in touch with me if you had any questions, if you wanted to have more resources. I did all of that. I really, the experience, the person who did the ebook for me, it was just a wonderful experience. The bidding, the getting the drafts perfect. It was my first time using photos within, because for the ebooks prior to that, the only page with a picture or animation was the cover. So the body of it was basic, just text. So I did learn by Get Rich or Cry Trying, and that's a business guide to business practices or lessons learned while I was building the brand after I was terminated from my federal job because my mom got sick and I couldn't do the pay. I mentioned that in another live. Um, and I'll go back to that experience, but I want to, again, as I learn things, and I've learned a lot, and I still have more to learn, I want to actually come every day, every single day, and do a live. every single day and go over the process. Every single day for at least 15 minutes. This is the rehearsal for me. No nerves from the first live stream. I was too excited. I was so excited that there were no nerves because I was so excited. I was on my phone because I hadn't figured out how to set up my studio or how to set up the lighting. I was in my robe, fresh face, just really. So that went well, where I just had a conversation. And then I did my second live, which was also fun, where I had, they weren't necessarily trolls that were in the comments. It was just some young creators that they were using my live space for them to talk. They were using it like it was a instant messenger or a live chat. And a few insults that didn't matter. Those didn't matter. I grew up, I'm Gen X, played the dozens a lot. You play it with your family and siblings. The most name calling comes from your siblings. So it didn't, I stayed on the message, so that was good. And yeah. So that day was an interesting day because the conversation, I ended up addressing them, and then I figured out that wasn't the best use of my time. And then I kind of went on a rant about coming to someone's page that you know that you're not a fan of just so you can heckle in the comments or disrupt the comments. And again, that wasn't the best use of time. So I did learn on the spot how to remove individuals your from your live. So that was a good lesson for that. It wasn't many people. And one was being really nice and telling the other to be nice. And then the one that wasn't so nice was kind of saying that they didn't mean any harm. So good lesson learned. Second live stream. So I learned from that. And for the and later I came on the same day because I just wanted to change the tone. So because I allowed the live to not be on topic like I liked it, I came back and did another live where I think the whole time it was on private or it may not have been on private. It may not have been on private, but it was me coming back and me rehearsing. So I was rehearsing, like if I had to read anything, I was just rehearsing my projection, my the lighting. That was my first time trying out the lighting, finding out where to put the ring light, finding out what lighting to put on the ring light, finding out that this just basic, the back, this my wall. I have drops. I have different things that can be behind me. I haven't learned like green screen or how to do where I digitally put anything behind me, which I'm sure I will learn. And I'll probably learn in the middle of a live stream. So, and today, what I'm learning is how to share my screen. And what I did is I only shared one tab. However, I was functioning as if I was sharing the whole screen. And of course, that wasn't on purpose. So I literally I went off screen thinking that it was visible when I specifically only shared the one tab. But that was good learning for me because I was all over the place in my actual laptop. And even though it's a brand new laptop, I am cybersecurity was HR. Well, I was in a medical unit. I was a medic initially, but I was in medical administration, concentration in HR, and I did cybersecurity. I have a Security Plus certification. I'm on the second. I'm on the second term of it, so I had to recertify. So, but I'm on the second. I am not currently in a full-time job. I'm doing part-time, and I've been doing a lot of part-time since my federal job was taken around 2021 during the pandemic. But again, I did discuss that briefly. And today, again, I was fine tuning lighting because I did lighting at night, and now I've done lighting during the day. I made sure that I'm coming on. I don't have to have the makeup done. I don't have to have the hair freshly retwisted. I don't have to have anything, a certain outfit. I want to be able to comfortably come on live. And I just want to be able to comfortably do that. I want to be able to be confident when I say, hey, I do have wonderful content. Please enjoy the shorts. I have not that many videos for now, but I do have over almost 500 pieces of content, and that's between videos, shorts, which is the majority of the content, and I have plenty of posts because I was dedicated for a period of time in 2022 to 2023 where I really wanted to take advantage of the community posts to try to build community that way. I would give motivation for the day. I was on what was known as Twitter at the time. So I would take that content and I would combine it with a collage of photos that I either took that day or at some point surrounding that time. So it literally kind of documented what was going on in my life at the time. I was in a job where I was doing door to door. That was a very thankless job and a very humbling job. Um, Very stressful for me too. But I learned a lot, and the people I learned in the team, I learned from them, and I went a few places. It was just very humbling. But again, I liked to travel as an adult, and I liked to travel while I was in the military. So it really reminded me of some of the things that I would take for granted when I would be in these wonderful places. Not that I wouldn't take pictures, not that I wouldn't enjoy the food and libations in any place that I went, but there was a there was places in New Orleans because I worked in New Orleans for my unit. I was there for 25 years and I worked full time as a DA civilian for almost 13 years and doing drill and doing weekends. There was so much that I got to experience. So much food, so much culture, the parks, the art throughout the city. There was so much that when I was doing that stressful job, I saw how you could be drawn away from the beauty that you were surrounded by. And then when I refocused, I was like, yeah, these are the things that I used to enjoy. These are the things, not that I ever took it for granted, but you also get used to it. So it was so good to be able to go to the city. Um, when I did ride share, I did the majority Uber, but I did do some Lyft, and I did attempt DoorDash a few times. But that was very wonderful. The people that I met, the deliveries that I made, the neighborhoods that I got to be in for deliveries, for pickups, the places, that the food that I got to try just from listening to other places that I did for the drop offs for the riders, and coming back later on like a break. And on Saturdays I used to do airport rides for the mornings. They would set their reservation, so I would try to stay in the city if the weather was good, and I would work real hard for maybe 3 hours straight, and then I would take an extended lunch and enjoy one of the restaurants that I hadn't been to, or if it was something that I missed so much from working there and being in the city. I would go, and it just, that was a good experience. It was a lot of wear and tear on my vehicle, and it started to wear on my body. Um, just a lot of, it was just a lot of, I cleaned the vehicle every day. I was doing a lot of detailing to the vehicle to make sure that it was nice and clean, just for me to the disinfecting. But I was getting sick, and it's not that necessarily that everybody was sick getting into the vehicle. It just was a lot of in and out. The weather may change. It'll be good weather one day, and then it's raining another. But I will talk about that experience too. But it's basically comfort. I'm here now to teach, but in the beginning, I'm here for comfort. I'm here to know that I can show up. I'm here to know that I do have something to give. I'm here to let you know that I am aware, as an empath and as a person with common courtesy that believes in human rights, that I know that there's a lot of heaviness, and I don't take that lightly. And I've been militant, I've been radical, um, in message, in message or whatever, or in principle, not in anything extreme. I'm not an extremist. I'm pretty balanced now, and it took a lot of years to get there. Um, Being a caregiver was humbling. I learned that a lot of things that I thought I was in control of, I was not in control of. So that was different for me, but it made me more balanced and well-rounded. And because I'm here this lifetime for balance and to usher in a new generation, to let them know, hey, your gifts are that, they're gifts. Don't let anybody minimize your gifts. Don't allow that. And I do have a lot of resources. I've done a lot of content on resources. I've done a lot of motivation. I've done a lot of mentoring. I've done a lot of learning. And I've done a lot of learning the hard way. And I definitely will share ways that you do not have to learn everything the hard way. I have so many tools. I have published books, I have ebooks, I have free Google files with packed with resources, how to self-publish, exposing the squeeze. There's so many of us suffering with mortgage doubling, with property taxes almost doubling, with your homeowners insurance almost doubling, your escrow account exploding, you're behind on every bill you have that's not a utility, and you may be behind on some of your utilities. You may be behind on your rent and mortgage. You have all these creators that say, hey, do a lead magnet, and you've done the lead magnet. They say, hey, be consistent, make the content, post the content, and you've done all those things. They tell you the things, use this SEO, optimize your search. You've done that. You've done that. They told you to be diligent on a particular app. Don't jump from app to app, or to extend yourself and not put your eggs all in one basket. It's a lot of advice. And you're probably like, I've done those things. I've done the call to action. I've shown up. I've done the live streams. I've done the content. I've done the TikTok shop where I did the content for their products, their merchandise. Now I'm trying to let everybody know again about my brand that I was building before I became a TikTok shop affiliate, and it slowed. You done the Black Friday or not because of boycotting. You've done you had your holiday product ready for the holidays. You're ready for the spring break. You've done the t-shirts, you've done the products, you've done the videos. You've taken to AI, even if you were old school, like I was an old school author that was like, I know how to write on my own. I don't need AI to write me anything. And then I had to just figure out the time that I was taking to do all my writing and all my editing and self-publish my work. There is optimization inside of the generative AI tools. And I needed to use that. No, I don't need a tool to write narrative or copy for me because I do know how to write, but it can enhance it. It can do the edits. It could catch the words where the there, and there. And you know what I'm talking about. It could catch those things that you don't, you wouldn't have caught it. It's not a misspelling. It's a word improperly used. And it catches those things. And there's affiliate marketing where you're like, I don't want to sell something I don't believe in just so that I could make money. But there are so many things, or so many companies, or so many brands that have affiliate marketing that you can find something that you love, and that you can support, and that you could make available and share. Or you can make your own. But one way or the other, there's those of us that have been doing the things. Like, we've done everything. We've done everything except sell consistently. So, and it's getting challenging, and it seems like everything is oversaturated. And it sometimes feels like, that went viral. Like, really, that went viral? Like, what's going on? And it's part of the process. It's part of the process. You will have there, You will have your time. And those overnight successes or those overnight things that you think are overnight, you don't know what went on behind the scenes. Even if somebody, it seems like they just walked on the scene, their story could have taken all of their adult life to make it to that point. You know, like they went through all the experiences off of social media. They went through all of the challenges on the military missions at the ATs or ECTs, annual trainings to extended combat trainings. The names change, the acronyms change. I went through 25 years. I've had 25 years. I've been a natural leader that if I wasn't the person named the leader, I was a assistant in the background that was taking care of soldiers, because that's what a leader is. You take care. Doesn't mean that you're the one calling all the shots. It means you're the one that has the predisposition, the duty or the desire to take care of those in your care. So I've done that. I was, you find out it's not just tied to the 25 years. You find out that you had habits when you were young, little bossy, little little bossy little girl, little bossy little boy, or whatever, you know, like you were the natural leader. And you could be an introvert, because I'm an extra introvert, which I have extrovert tendencies, but in my most comfortable state, I'm an introvert, a homebody and an introvert. But I love storytelling, and I'm going to do it here. And I'm going to do it here a lot. I'm going to tell all kinds of stories. And I'm going to tell them until I'm tired. I'm going to build a tribe, because my tribe didn't necessarily ever transfer from app to app with me. I'm going to share challenges just like I'm going to share triumphs. I'm going to share the things that work for me, and honestly tell you the things that didn't. And what I know is having a lead magnet or a product does not sell itself. Being a creative or intellectual does not make you money. Being of service does not mean that you're going to live a life of luxury. There's lessons here to be learned, and there are lessons here to be taught. You're going to fit in one of those categories, or you're going to be an observer. And part of my purpose here too is to observe. And it's hard to watch people suffer. Hell, it's hard for me to suffer. I've done a lot of work on myself, but I have suffered a lot. Not necessarily always at the hands of someone, but knowing that you have a message and knowing your obscurity to the masses that you know that you can help. You're always going to inspire at least one, and that's what it's about. But if you know that you have a calling that you know that God told you that you have, and they've told you that the universe is going to conspire to see you do well, but you have to believe, and you've carried the belief, but that belief is built by patience and resilience. It does get frustrating, and I'm going to share that. Those are things I'm going to share. When I have those days, I am going to definitely share. And I'm going to go from topic to topic until I'm so comfortable that I can naturally flow and I can get back to the point. And the point was, I'm doing research right now. I'm doing research to be the best creator here. I'm doing research of what it's like to be here since February of 2020 and not even be able to get 25 subscribers, but come back with a fresh set of eyes, with zeal and motivation and that stick to itiveness, and within 3 weeks accomplish the goal to be able to live stream and to have 50 subscribers that believe in what, or to just be interested in what's on your page and what's in your profile and what's in your content. And you not know everybody that's there, because everybody doesn't share their profiles to where you could see exactly who the 50 people are. And there were times when I would get so close and 1 or 2 people at a time were falling off of. It's like, I'm almost 50. And then I'm back down at 45. Oh, when I was almost to 30, it would be back down to 27. And you don't know who the people, I don't know who the people are. So, and I was doing a lot on my phone. So it was like, when you do know, what will you do with that information? It would have just distracted me. Having that information, knowing that information, it would have just distracted me. So I'm glad I didn't know. And I'm glad I didn't know where exactly on YouTube Studio to go to find out who's following, who your subscribers are. Or I'm glad I don't have the ability that if someone has their page private or their status private, that I can't all the time, I can't figure out who person by person is subscribed to the channel. But I am very appreciative that you saw something and you believe in something, or you were entertained by something enough not to just watch, not to just press like or share, not to just make a comment, but to hit the subscribe button. And even if you were one that hit the subscribe button and then you came on and like, I really can't figure out what she's doing right now, because her posts have one thing, her shorts have another thing, and her few videos have another thing. It has been 5 years of not just throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. It has been 5 years of, I thought I was only this, and I found out that I am so much more, a true multi-hyphenate. And what comes with that is you start and stop a lot, or by the time you finish one thing, you're already in the midst of working on 2 or more ideas. And the more you try to focus, because the real F word is focus, the more it seems like I dreamed about this thing. And what am I doing wrong? And you find out you're not doing anything wrong. You just have to trust the process. And then you have this frantic energy when so much chaos is going on around you, but you're trying to stay measured and you're trying to stay focused and you're trying to stay positive. And what do you do with that? What do you do when it doesn't change? What do you do when someone looks like, because it's perspective, when someone is getting away with so much that harms so many, and you're just trying to create a place of peace, a safe space. So now, instead of being guilty for having AI content that is partying and enjoying their significant other and enjoying their crew of kisses and dancing and enjoying the music and enjoying the multiverse, I know that's an escape. I can write and post about exposing the squeeze and how the 1% are smothering the rest of us 99%. And for the 10% to 15% of us that are aware how frustrating it is that intellectualism is under attack. You know, I can balance that out now because my content with AK the Avatar, she is providing an escape, a well needed escape. But she is also like me, she has a message. And she could soften the message that I have when I am disappointed, frustrated, or enraged. She could present it to where, okay, that's palatable. I know what you're saying. So again, I will be the next few things. I won't stop the content with my avatar alter ego. So if that is something that like kind of bothers you, then do the happy scroll. You don't have to stop by the comments and like let me know um that my focus is off. I know the purpose of that. I will continue to educate because I am a federal employee. I was Department of the Army civilian unit administrator for my medical support unit in New Orleans. And I had just gotten a promotion. And in 3 weeks after my promotion, when my mom was hospitalized and I just needed help with someone who was new in a position that actually had the access and had the knowledge and had the experience of doing pay in a more secure environment than me trying to do pay in a hospital room on a bed chair on side of my mom. I just needed help with the pay. And they just needed to advertise the position, which meant they had to terminate. And they never filled the position after the termination. And that's a whole nother story in itself that will be Surviving Uncle Sam, which is on Substack and Blue Sky. And I talk about it. I'll talk about it here as well because it made me who I am and what I'm doing today. All of the jobs from being in the security space and working for the Autodesk conference and Chris Stapleton concert. That was amazing. Rideshare, door-to-door sales, substitute teaching, which I still do, and I love content creation. And I, of course, still write, journal write, ebooks to teach, in short stories. That's my cue to leave. I've done enough talking. Have a wonderful day. And I'll be back to teach some more. And I'll have my intro and my exit. I have the things, but ending. Bye.